In this chapter, we will try to look at the introduction to oligopoly with formal or tacit agreement. We'll also look at price leadership and low cost price leadership. Price leadership by dominant firm, barometric price leadership and its emergence, aggressive price leadership and limitations of price leadership. An oligopoly market is dominated by few producers. Few firms in oligopoly market mean that entry of new firms and exit of old firms rarely happens. Each oligopolistic firm in the industry is big enough to influence the profit of other firms by simply changing price, output or advertisement cost. In other words, the market power of each oligopolistic firm is very high to substantially affect profits of other oligopolistic firms by following rivalry policy of changing price, output and advertising costs to some extent. Thus, each firm is so important for any other firm that their interdependence forces them to operate strategically. Interdependence price wars and cutthroat competition are regular phenomena of oligopolistic firms. Thus, firms enter into agreement of uniform price output policy with the intention of evading uncertainty arising out of such interdependence, price war and cutthroat competition. Firms generally enter into either formal or tacit agreements. While formal agreements are made openly, tacit agreements are made secretly. In most of the countries, formal or open agreements are illegal, and as a result, tacit or secret agreements play an important role among oligopolistic firms. The formal or tacit agreements are known as collusive agreements to the economists, and for them, collusive oligopoly prevail in the market when the oligopolistic firms enter into such agreements. In the case of such collusive oligopoly, the competing firms collude in order to reduce the uncertainties cropping out of inherent rivalries among them. Bound by agreements, the colluding firms try to maximize the joint profit of the group. The best example of such type of collusion is Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, that is called OPEC. Considering the behavior of firms regarding price and output, such kind of collusions are divided into two main types: cartels and price leadership. In this module, we shall discuss the price and output behavior of price leadership firms. Price leadership. Price leadership is a form of collusive oligopoly where one influential firm is the leader and sets the price and other firms follow it. Collusion under price leadership is either tacit or formal. However, mostly collusion under price leadership is tacit because open collusion to form price leadership is illegal in almost every country. Thus, the oligopolistic firms select a leader from among them and collude to follow the decision of the leader on price in a secret meeting. There are different types of price leadership models under collusive oligopoly. price leadership by a low-cost firm or price leadership by the dominant firm, barometric price leadership and aggressive price leadership, low-cost price leadership. In a low-cost price leadership, one firm with low level of cost of production sets the price and other high-cost firms follow it. The price set by low-cost price leader is always lower than the profit maximizing price of high-cost firms, and by doing so, the low-cost firm maximizes its own profit, ensuring that the high-cost firm gets at least some profit. Price output determination under price leadership by a low-cost firm depends on various assumptions. In order to explain the model, we make the following assumption. Let us suppose there are two firms producing in the oligopolistic market, firm A and firm B. Cost of production of firm A is lower than that of the firm B. Both firms produce homogeneous product and thus consumers have no preferences between the products. Both firms have equal market share. That is, demand curve of each firm will have half of the total market demand curve. Both firms face identical demand curve. Given the above assumption, the equilibrium price and output under price leadership is determined, which is explained in figure 1. Let us assume in figure 1 that DD is a demand curve faced by both firms, which is half of the total market demand curve DD. The marginal revenue curve faced by each firm is MR. Average cost curve faced by firm A and firm B are ACA and ACB respectively. Similarly, marginal cost curves faced by firm A and firm B are MCA and MCB respectively. As per our assumption of low cost firm, MC and AC of firm A lie below the MC and AC of firm B respectively. Determination under low cost price leadership. Figure 1 shows that at OM output and OP price, firm A maximizes profit by equating MCA with MR, but firm B will maximize profit by equating MCB with MR at price OH and output ON. It is observed that firm A has lower profit maximizing price than firm B because OP is less than OH. However, due to homogeneous product produced by both firms, they cannot charge two different prices. At the level of profit maximization of each firm, price OP of firm A is lower than price OH of firm B. Thus, if a price war takes place, then firm A, being the low cost firm, will win by charging lower price. Therefore, firm A emerges as a price leader and firm B as a follower. Under such circumstances, tacit collusion occurs between them where firm A is chosen as price leader and firm B as a follower. Now, Firm B accepts firm A as the leader and charges price OP and produces and sells output OM. Firm B can produce and sell OM output at price OP because demand curve facing both firms is the same. Hence, both the firms will produce and sell OM output and charge the same price OP. Now, at price OP, output of firm A is equal to OM, output of firm B is equal to OM, total output of both firms OM plus OM is equal to OQ. Thus, figure 1 shows that this OQ output is the market demand for product at price OP. However, firm B cannot maximize profit at OP price. Only firm A, being the price leader, can maximize profit by selling output OM and charging price OP. With this price output combination, firm B cannot maximize profits because ON price and OH output are its price output combination for profit maximization. Thus, by following price OP given by firm A, firm B earns less profit than firm A because its cost is greater than the cost of firm A. Price leadership by dominant firm is a situation where one firm dominates the entire industry by producing a substantially large proportion of product of the entire market. The influence of the dominant firm over the market for the product is very high. Other firms in the industry are very small and are incapable of influencing the price and output decision of the dominant firm. These small firms cannot make any impact on the market. The dominant firm uses this to his advantage and estimates its own demand curve and fixes price which enable it to maximize profit. Other small firms incapable of influencing the market individually simply follow by accepting price set by the dominant firm and accordingly they adjust their output also. Now to explain the price and output determination under dominant firm price leadership. Let us assume that one firm is the dominant firm who produces substantially large proportion of output of the entire market and a number of small firms who follow the dominant firm have small share of the market. We also assume that the total market demand curve for the product is known to the dominant firm. The marginal cost curves of smaller firms are also known to the dominant firm. The horizontal summation of marginal cost curves of smaller firms yields the total supply at various prices of the product by the smaller firms. The dominant firm, from his past experience, can predict the supply of the product by the smaller firms. The dominant firm uses this information to estimate his demand curve. Panel A of figure 2 shows that DD is the market demand curve for the product, and SM is the aggregate supply curve of the product of all the small firms. The smaller firms cannot fulfill the entire market demand. Thus, the part of the market demand which is not fulfilled by the smaller firms can be supplied by the leader. It is observed from figure 2 that the small firms supply the whole output at price P1, which indicates that the demand for the dominant firm's product is 0. However, if the small firms supply P2C quantity of market demand at P2 price, then the remaining quantity CT of market demand will be supplied by the leader. The curve DL in panel B of figure 2 shows the demand for the product of the leader. In panel A and B of figure 2, P2Z is equal to CT. Again, the small firm's product at price P3 is 0. Thus, dominant firm here is a market leader in terms of price to supply whole market demand, P3U. Similarly, we can also find out other prices to show how much of the market demand the price leader can supply and how much of market demand can be left for the small firms. The marginal revenue curve MRL corresponding to demand curve DL of the price leader is shown in panel B of figure 2. The marginal and average cost curves of the price leader are shown as MC and AC respectively in panel B of figure 2. The price leader will maximize his profits at the point where MC cuts MR from below. In panel B of figure 2, the MC cuts MR at point E, where output OQ and price OP is determined. Thus, the dominant price leader maximizes his own profits by producing output OQ at price OP. The small firms, being the followers, will take this price for granted, and at this price OP produce and supply market demand of PB shown in panel A of figure 2. Thus, in panel A of figure 2, at OP price, the price leader will supply the market demand of BS amount, which is equal to PH or OQ amount in panel B, and small firms will supply the market demand of PB amount. Figure 2. Price leadership by the dominant firm. Many times, this profit maximizing price of price leader is not enough for the small firms to maximize their profit. The price leader thus can be pushed to a non-profit maximizing position if small firms will produce more or less than the PB amount. Thus, collusion of market sharing, though may be tacit, is important to keep price leader in his profit maximizing position. Barometric price leadership. Barometric price leadership is one of the important forms of collusive oligopoly model. Under the barometric price leadership of the collusive oligopoly, the price is set by a large old and experienced firm and thus considered as a leader of all followers. The role of the leader here is to judge market conditions from time to time in terms of products demand, production cost, related or substitute products, etc. Taking into account the market condition and considering common interests of all the firms in the industry, the leader fixes or makes changes in price. Thus, it is obvious that willingly all the firms in the industry follow the leader. Thus, Barometric price leader is a firm of the oligopolistic industry which plays the role of a barometer in order to predict demand and cost conditions in the industry from time to time. The barometric price leader also estimates and forecasts the conditions in the economy in order to predict price movement of the product, which helps other firms in the industry to adjust the output while following the price set by the leader. Under barometric price, leadership, formal or tacit collusion is undertaken among the firms to follow the price and output decision given by the barometric price leader in the industry. Emergence of barometric price leadership. Some of the important reasons for which barometric price leadership emerges in oligopolistic market are: 1. Being dissatisfied with the rivalry behavior of some firms with respect to cutthroat competition and price war in oligopolistic industry. Other firms choose one old, experienced and largest firm as a price leader. If there is a rivalry amongst large firms in the industry, then all the smaller firms or followers will choose that firm which will have more experience and expertise in predicting price, output and cost condition. All the firms do not have expertise in predicting price, output and cost conditions. Thus, they choose one experienced leader to be the price leader to predict price, output and cost conditions. Aggressive price leadership. Under aggressive price leadership, one well-established and large firm plays the role of a leader by following aggressive price policies and forces the other firms of the industry to follow his decision on the price. The leader exploits the other firms in the industry and threatens them to follow him in setting the price with formal or tacit collusion. Limitations of price leadership. Price leadership has many limitations. Many times the leader predicts and sets price, but he does not know how other firms will react to this. If his followers find him incorrectly predicting the price, then the entire collusion may collapse due to price war or cutthroat competition. Sometimes followers cut price secretly in order to have large share of the market because the price fixed by the leader appears higher than the expected price of the follower. This situation leads to price war and as a result collusion collapses. there are a number of schemes the follower firms adopt to cut prices. The schemes through which the follower firms cut prices are: 1. Offer of rebates. The firm gives rebate on purchase of certain products and still gets profit. The net price after rebate will be less than the price fixed by the leader. Or they may give favorable credit terms. The firm sells products on credit and recovers the total receipt of sale in various installments. Or they may have money back guarantees. The firm gives money back guarantee on quality of the product. If the quality of the product deteriorates within a given period, then the total sale receipt of the product will be returned to the consumer. Sometimes they may offer delivery free services. The firm gives free service after delivery of the product. Sometimes rival firms are involved in non-price competition to increase sales, keeping the price fixed by the leader constant. There are many ways to promote sales through non-price competition. One such scheme is advertisement to promote sales. The follower or rival firms give advertisements keeping price of the product constant, that is fixed by the leader, and increase the market share. The price leader comes to know this when his market share decreases and retaliates by incurring expenditure on advertisements or follows a price cut policy to achieve his target of sales. Thus, this kind of retaliation, price war, and non-price competition between price leader and follower results in the collapse of collusions between them. In this case, the price leader cannot maintain his leadership for a very long time. The most important limitation of price leadership is that the leader fixes a high price for his product. As a result, the follower or rival firm cut price secretly, which will have some adverse impact on sales and market share of the leader. New firms of same product assume that there is high profit due to high price fixed by the leader. Thus, they make an entry to the industry but cannot accept the leader as price leader. Thus, the market is shared between new firm and price leader, resulting in collapse of collusion between the leader and the follower. Cost differences between price leader and follower create a major problem in collusive oligopoly. High price fixed by the price leader due to higher cost of production leads to cutthroat competition and price war between leader and follower, and it attracts new firms to the industry, leading to collapse of collusion. Let us summarize now. Interdependence, price wars, and cutthroat competition are a regular phenomenon of oligopolistic firms. Firms enter into agreements of uniform price output policy with the intention of evading the uncertainty arising out of such interdependence, price war, and cutthroat competitions. Firms enter into either formal or tacit agreement. While formal agreements are made openly, tacit agreements are made secretly. Price leadership is a form of collusive oligopoly where one influential firm is the leader and sets the price while other firms follow it. Collusion under price leadership is either tacit or formal. However, mostly collusion under price leadership is tacit because open collusion to form price leadership is illegal in almost every country. There are different types of price leadership models under collusive oligopoly, such as price leadership by a low-cost firm or price leadership by the dominant firm, or barometric price leadership or aggressive price leadership. In low-cost price leadership, one firm with low level of cost of production sets the price and other high-cost firms follow it. The price set by low-cost price leader is always lower than the profit maximizing price of high-cost firms, and by doing so, the low-cost firm maximizes its own profit, ensuring that the high-cost firm gets at least some profit. Price leadership by a dominant firm is a situation where one firm dominates the entire industry by producing a substantially large proportion of a product. Other firms in the industry are very small and are incapable of influencing the price and output decisions of the dominant firm. These small firms cannot make any impact on the market. They are price takers. Other small firms are incapable of influencing the market individually and simply follow by accepting the price set by the dominant firm, and accordingly they adjust their output. Barometric price leadership is one of the most important forms of collusive oligopoly model. Under barometric price leadership, the price is set by an old and experienced firm and thus considered as leader of all followers. The role of barometric leader is to judge market conditions from time to time in terms of products demand, production cost, related or substitute products, etc. Taking into account the market condition and considering common interests of all the firms in the industry, the barometric leader fixes or makes changes in price. Under aggressive price leadership, one well-established and very large firm plays the role of a leader by following aggressive price policies and forces the other firms of the industry to follow his decision on price. Many times, the leader in the price leadership model predicts and sets price, but he may not know how other firms will react to this. If his followers find him incorrectly predicting the price, then the entire collusion may collapse due to price war or cutthroat competition. Sometimes followers cut price secretly in order to have a larger share of the market because the price fixed by the leader appears higher than the expected price of the follower. This situation leads to price war, and as a result, the collusion collapses. There are a number of schemes the follower firms adopt to cut price. The schemes through which the follower firm cut price are offer of rebates, favorable credit terms, money back guarantees, or after delivery free services, etc. Sometimes rival firms are involved in non-price competition like advertising, etc., to increase sales, keeping the price fixed by the leader constant. The most important limitation of price leadership is that the leader fixes high price of his product. As a result, follower or rival firms cut price secretly, which will have some adverse impact on sales and market share of the leader. New firms of same product many times also assume that there is a high profit due to high price fixed by the leader. Thus, they make an entry into the industry but cannot accept the leader as price leader. Thus, the market is shared between the new firm and the price leader, resulting in collapse of collusion between leader and follower.